She's on the inside, she got the scoop on the ones to watch, on the ones that's hot. No one can do it quite like Caroline.
Hey y'all, it's Caroline Hobby and welcome to my show Get Real from the Music City, capital of the world. In each episode, I get the real story from the most inspiring, interesting people in Nashville, Tennessee. I have done everything in the music entertainment industry. I was in the trio Stealing Angels with 2 top 50 country charting songs, a finalist and runner-up on season 22 and season 24 of The Amazing Race. You can currently catch me on CMT's hit show, I Love Kelly Pickler. I am an entertainment news correspondent and host for the TV show Nashville Insider, and my podcast, Get Real with Caroline Hobby, was featured on iTunes New and Noteworthy and charted on iTunes Top 200 podcast. I'm also married to the smoking hot front man, Michael Hobby, of the #1 chart-topping band, 1,000 Horses. So buckle up and get ready to get real with me, Caroline Hobby. Welcome to my show.
Maddie and I talk about this movie all the time, but Inside Out.
Yes, you have a kids movie, Inside Out. Okay,
so
you have to watch it. You have to watch it.
So it's a movie, and it's basically about this girl and all of the emotions that live inside your head. It sounds so crazy. Wow. I don't have different personalities.
But it's genius.
We all have different personalities.
Don't worry.
So it's like animated, and it's all the little like emotions in your head. So anger, happy, sad, hungry, like whatever. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's easy for me to kind of go inside, because I can't, if someone says something to me and I need to like respond in a very mature, kind, smart way, like I can't do it right away. I have to think about it. I have to think of the best route. Like I analyze every situation. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I could say this, but then it might lead to this. I could do this, but then it might lead to that. So I literally, in my mind, I have to go down every road and what it would look like long term before I react to anything.
I wish I did that.
Me too.
I'm just like, you're so smart.
No, y'all.
I'm just like,
no, y'all.
You asshole. No, you're not.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'll just say it with a smile though. I'll be like, you're an asshole.
But in the fault in that is it can make people think that I'm disinterested or that I'm not hurting. Because a lot of the times you probably thought that I don't feel the same way as you.
Oh no, I knew, but I was just like waiting until she told me.
Yeah. So a lot of the times it can make people think that I'm just like really upset or really angry or I don't care. But
really, your mind has exploded.
In reality, I've exploded, and once I figure out which lane I'm gonna take, then I will react.
That's awesome though. Really,
I know. I wish I would do that.
I do too.
I don't think about I'm so quick to just like say whatever I feel like I need to say.
I have learned from my past though that I'm trying to be more like that, where I know that if I feel resistance or anger, I cannot respond, because I always respond so much more harsh than I think I am.
Yeah.
When I quickly respond, and then I'm like, then I have to like undo it, and then what I was trying to tell them anyway is void, because now the only thing I'm trying to do now is apologize.
See, I've had to find like filters in people. Like our manager, I will like filter things through her. I'll filter things through her sometimes, and just be like, or even like my boyfriend, I'll just be like, okay, how should I word this to where I get my point across, but I don't upset anyone?
And it's custom to everybody, which is so hard to figure out.
Because I have learned, my sister-in-law says this. She says, you're right, you're rude, you're wrong. Like if you're right, but you're rude, then you're wrong.
Totally.
And so like that is what I
learned that recently.
Awesome.
It's kind of sad.
How did you learn that?
I just learned that like in my household, and let me tell you, like I had a great childhood. My parents are amazing. Like I love them.
Right. But we all have stuff, even if you have the best. Your parents are doing the best they can, but they're still gonna mess with their
and I'm gonna have kids, and I'm gonna jack them up.
It's just the way. That's how it all goes. The way of the world, baby. Yeah.
But with the household that I grew up in, it was like, if you felt some kind of way, you just said it. Like it was like, I mean, it was either like you were really, really quiet and you just like let someone just have, like someone was just telling you like it was, and you just kind of sat there and took it, or you were the person where you're just like, rah. So like I don't know, just
learning how to like filter it in a way where you're getting your really point across, but politely.
But even as a family, my little sister and I, my mom and my dad, we've all learned how to filter things to where, like, because me and my dad are very like, I don't know what the actual, like, what's the phrase where it's just like
both alphas or something, kind of like hard head, or like you both just like say it how it is.
We just say it how it is, and it comes from a place of love,
blunt?
but very, very blunt, like not careful with what we say at all.
And both of y'all are okay with that?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. No, okay. I learned that like when I moved to Nashville and was on my own, I was like, I can't just sometimes, and that's like another thing where it's like your soul, where it's like sometimes if she's upset about something and it's like making me angry, like what she's going through is making me angry, sometimes I have to be like, okay, don't react with anger, like just be encouraging and keep your own personal things about this situation. Like, if she's having something with someone, I like
it's hard
wanna
not to get
punch that
angry.
person.
Totally.
But to her, I can't be like, I'm gonna go freaking kill him, or like,
because that's putting negative energy. It's just fueling the negativity.
So
when
I have to like take a minute, because like me and my dad were just like ready to freaking roll whenever. Like if someone is gonna mess with someone that we love,
You're
or
on
our
'em.
family, we're on. Yeah. And so I have to be like, okay, it's all good, and like, but it's so hard to do that. Because I'm like, I just want to punch so funny.
How do you guys, speaking of this, how do y'all maintain your friendship? Because to me, y'all seem like y'all are the best of friends, most amazing of friends.
We're close.
How do you make that work? Because so many groups, duos are together, and then they go through all these things. They have all the success. They have all these in the entertainment industry. It's just a crazy ride.
Yeah.
So how do you guys maintain your best friendship?
I think a lot of it has to do with everything we've been through, because when you share struggles with someone, like actually everyday struggles, going through the exact same thing, it just brings you closer. But also I think when we met when we were 15 and 16, our initial connection was like, let's be best friends. Let's go to the lake, let's hang out, let's make custom phone cases. Like, that's what we did. Literally.
Every summer till we moved to Nashville, we would just like go to fun things.
Go get Chick-fil-A and sneak into the movies. Like,
Did that. Four Chick-fil-A meals into a movie theater one time.
We lived life as best friends before it was actually professional. The whole time we were a duo and we were making music together. We were creating music together, but we were still friends. Like, we did friend things. It was never, we weren't like, here, you be with her and y'all sing together. It was like,
And there was
like
never
a choice.
competition of like who's the bigger star in the duo. Because
I think it
sometimes
was
people
type A, type B, it just worked
y'all
out.
just fit.
So
Yeah,
it was like,
never
it
a
just
question.
was like, it just makes sense like this.
Yes.
But also I think like respect is so important. Like I feel like sometimes if you feel like someone's not understanding you or disagreeing, if you don't disagree,
It's healthy.
It's not
totally
normal.
healthy.
You have to disagree and you have to not see eye to eye on everything. But when that happens, you have to figure out, okay, like, and with me being so like just ready to rock and roll, I'm like, okay, how is she feeling about this? Like, is this something that
It's
I can give
intentional.
into?
You have to intentionally think about it.
Totally. Or like if it's something that she like, and we have kind of a golden rule where it's like if it's something that we're each really passionate about, and if it like passionate negatively or positively, we will communicate like, hey, I really am not feeling this, and I'll be like, okay, like maybe it was something that I was interested in,
but not that interested in.
Yeah,
and if
not,
you have a
not
strong
enough
opinion,
to upset her. Yeah,
it's not
totally.
worth it. But if you were strongly yes, then you'd be like, okay, we really
Then
need to
she
talk
would-
this
yeah,
out.
Exactly.
Totally.
And you don't cry wolf. You don't like say you're really passionate about something if you're not.
So you make it count.
Yes.
You're not going to say this means the world to me if you have to say you're leave it.
Yeah.
Totally, because there's been times where like a sponsorship made sense. Like I related to it.
Right.
Remember that one?
Yes, yeah.
And I was like, I really want to do this. I feel so passionate. And Tay was like, I do not have the connection, and I can't go to these events and pretend like I have a connection. And I was like, oh, I really want to do this, but I was like, you know what? She's right. Like we're a united team, and like we have to treat everything, every song we put out, every event that we go to, any podcast that we choose, like everything needs to be like cohesive, and it's not like she's dragging me or I'm dragging her.
You
know
both
what I mean?
are fully invested.
Yeah, totally.
That's another thing I've been learning in this influencer series is being an authentic brand, which you guys are human beings,
I
but
love
you're
the
a
Maddie
brand.
thing about that too. Like
Yes.
just being authentic.
Talk to me about how you guys show up every day authentically and how that means sometimes turning things down.
Yeah.
Saying no is a really big part of it. I think,
Especially when there's money attached. Like, what if there's good
I know.
money attached?
Oh,
How do
we've
you-
turned down a big amount of money a lot of times because it just wasn't right.
because you're
it's
like,
not
we're going to
about
stay
that.
true to our brand.
Yeah,
Exactly. Tell me
totally.
why that's important to you guys.
for us, I feel like from day one, especially even with our music, writing our music, it was like, are we really going to be the girls that stand up on stage and sing songs that we don't feel a personal connection to? Because that's potentially going to ruin our lives. Like,
And so many people do that.
Right.
I know, and it's so sad. It makes
just
you not like
seems-
music anymore.
Exactly, and it just seems to us like a miserable way to live. Like, if we're gonna be artists, why not be artists and Maddie and Tay individually? Like, bring our actual souls, hearts into it, rather than just viewing it as a career. Like, it's our lives, it's everything.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like,
So
the
it
ins
has
and
to
outs of
match your soul.
Because with you too, like you are your brand.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you are selling yourself. Like all, like a person at I don't know, a jewelry store is selling their jewelry.
Yes.
And so when they go home, if they didn't sell a piece of jewelry, it's like, oh, you know, someone will buy it. But if people aren't investing in you,
It's your actual
it's like
life.
a personal hit where
we
you're
don't
just
wanna,
like,
essentially preach to an audience about something that we don't even
That you're not
believe
even
ourselves.
Exactly.
which
It
makes
seems
so
like a
much
life-
sense. And that is the thing. It's like you guys are a brand, but also you're humans, and you are sharing your heart and soul. At the end of the day, that is what people are buying into, because regular people don't know that there's a huge machine running this and pumping stuff out for money.
Totally.
But really, so that it's up to you guys to make sure that that's
like consistent
in your truth, because otherwise people could force that on you.
Well, and this is the thing. So like with any influencers, and we've heard this too, because like we just got into like the influencer world and everything.
Wild world out there.
It's wild. But I will say, like, the minute that you just take one thing that doesn't make sense, you're going to start taking more things that don't make sense, and then the brand that you've worked so hard for is not going to be what you want it to be.
Yeah.
So it just like
It's going to get watered down.
Yeah.
And then people are not going to listen to what you have to say, because they're like,
it
I
doesn't
don't trust
matter.
you anyway.
I'm just doing this because it's
yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
are you going to like do 15 punches, or are you going to pack a giant punch and just go for it a couple times?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
love that.
Make it count.
yeah, make it
Make it
count.
count.
And just don't get sloppy. Like, because there's so many times where both of us are like, man, we could use the money.
We could use that cash.
Yeah, we could use that cash. And then we're just like, it depends on what you want. If you are just trying to capitalize on what you're doing right now, do everything. But if you're trying to build a longer, you know, if you're trying to have that longevity, like, know your worth and know, like, sometimes there's not a price that can make something make sense.
And just because you say no to an opportunity now that may seem like it could launch your career, but it doesn't feel right, doesn't mean that the opportunity in a different way is going to come later that makes more sense.
Right.
So you kind of
Yes.
just have to trust in the process, and that God's going to make the opportunities pop up.
And trust
when
your
it's supposed
gut.
to.
Have you
Yeah.
figured out that your gut is more on than you
Yes.
think it is?
Yes, and I want to talk to you about that, because you said if you feel like it isn't wrong. If it's like it feels like a huge opportunity, but your gut is saying like, don't do it.
Then trust that the right one's going to come along.
How do you know how to trust your gut? Because I feel like, and I want to, since we're hopefully talking to women and the everyday woman who's trying to find herself, especially, how do you know how to listen to your gut, and how do you know how to have the confidence to move forward? And with your gut, what's the difference between emotions in your head and your gut feeling?
For me, I
what's
don't
for
trust my
you?
gut. I trust God. I can't.
How do you know what he's got?
For me, have you guys ever seen, there's like a split poll where it says, God calms you, the devil rushes you. God,
I know what you said.
encourages you, the devil like makes you feel, it's like a separate
Anxious.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, for me, I've like lived by that, because whenever I'm trying to make a decision or I'm just going through something, if I feel this way about it, then I know
So you feel like the devil would be like anxiety, resistance, stress. Like it doesn't match your soul.
it just doesn't
fluster.
feel right. Yeah, and it
And
doesn't line up with my beliefs and morals, and I trust that God's going to give me peace. And if I have peace about something, then I trust that that's
So
God's like reminder, like you're on the right path.
So if you have peace, if it flows easily, if there's no resistance, if you feel like it matches your personal moral code, then you can move forward.
And if I'm if I'm not sacrificing the
Yourself.
feelings of others or myself, or like doing any harm.
Okay, so that's a very basic way to break down God, gut, no God,
Right.
no
See,
gut.
mine is like all intertwined.
Okay.
Because I like, not to be all like weird.
I
and
love this because
spiritual,
we're
but
getting to give like both perspectives.
I know.
It's so great.
From it's like the introvert and the extrovert.
Yeah, I love it.
You know?
so great. So funny.
But for me, like, I talk to God like he's my best friend. So like in the car, I'll be like, "Hey God, it's me, Maddie. It's me again. I know you're trying to help many people right now." But I, like, I've had really weird things. I'll have to tell you this one day because it's too long of a story. But I've had moments where like I will feel like the Holy Spirit telling me to tell someone something, and I will like get the courage to say it, and it's exactly what the person needs to hear. Or just weird stuff. I've had like dreams, like premonition stuff where things came about.
And break that down, because I feel like, is that basically, do you feel like it's the Holy Spirit when all of a sudden you're just going about your regular day and you get like this random thought that comes in your mind that you weren't thinking about someone else with a specific message? Is that what it is?
That is, for me, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because some people, like, so my grandma, she's really spiritual, and she has to have 3 confirmations. So, like,
3 confirmations?
3 confirmations. So, for example, just a quick little story.
Oh, that's cool.
My grandma wanted to start volunteering at a hospital. And
I love 3 confirmations.
I know.
Yeah. And so she was like, you know, I was talking to God and I was praying about it, and so I kind of had the thought and it popped in my head. And then my aunt called her and she's like, Mom, you should really, like, you know, this was like a day after. She's like, Mom, you should start working at the hospital. I think think it'd be fun. And you're not fun, but you're
Good
so
check.
good.
Was that confirmation number 1?
That was number 2.
Number 2?
Because God kind of already put it in her heart. And
So the first one was her thought.
Yes.
She was then 2 confirmations from other. Check.
Yeah,
Okay.
one, and then another one where one of her friends from Bible study was saying, like, hey, you should really come volunteer at the hospital with me. I'll get you all hooked up, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, like 3 confirmations.
That's so awesome.
But
I'm gonna add that to my checklist.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like you just kind of have to, like, you have, I
know
feel
works
like
for you.
in this society, we all do not do well at listening. Like, we're trying to fix everything so much, and for me, I'm like, I don't want to listen to what God has to tell me. I want to fix whatever the situation is that he has me in. Like, I just want to fix it. I don't want to listen to what the real solution is. But it is tricky being like a woman of God in this industry. And
I was gonna say, how do you navigate that? Because I do feel like, okay, social media has been positive and negative. Negative in the comparison game has skyrocketed, but positive in also the real side has skyrocketed, because now, like, you guys can directly tell us how you're feeling. You can show yourself with no makeup. You can show yourself doing whatever. Whereas before, we would have never gotten to see that. We would just seen your perfectly curated pictures and thought,
that's photoshopped and touched, and you're just like,
But now with social media, you guys can actually, like, let us into your personal life, which is the benefit.
Yeah.
But how do you? And so because of that, I feel like people's faith is starting to pop up more, because people are talking about
feel
faith.
more comfortable to
More comfortable. How do you guys define faith, and how do you work your faith into this career?
Man, there's times where just with writing songs we incorporate it, but the biggest thing for us is, like, we are not going to be the girls that are like, you should be a Christian and God is real and Jesus and blah, blah, blah. Like, we're going to be really kind and, like, let our actions speak for, our words. Like,
if we're judging them, we're not doing it right.
Yeah, well, and some people, they're like, why are y'all so happy all the time? Why are you so positive? I'm like, Jesus, man, he's a good friend. You need to get to know him. He's a good one. But just, like, letting your actions speak for, But then this is the thing, because it's like, being in the Bible Belt, I guess you can say, in Nashville, everyone's
religion
like,
can get so skewed, and people can use it against other people.
I feel like religion is one thing, and spirituality is one thing. So we're on the spiritual spectrum. Like, religion, like, we're not going to judge you. Like, if
we're not going to exclude you.
Yeah, I'm going to wear a bikini because I want to wear a bikini. And, like,
exactly.
I'm not going to, like, sometimes I cuss and sometimes I drink wine, but I feel like Jesus still loves
me. I had sex before marriage, and I think I'm still going to heaven.
Exactly. Jesus still loves you. It doesn't matter.
I think a lot of the times people can view having a relationship with God as, they're perfect.
Yeah.
Because look at that. But in reality, we're, like,
the most
way
broken.
Far from perfect. That's why we need him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I feel like for us, like Maddie said, planting those seeds instead of, like, shoving trees down people's throats.
Yeah,
we never want to
seriously.
we never want people,
because that's a turnoff.
It's a turnoff.
Oh man, yeah.
How do you
the perfect, like,
well, that doesn't help anyone to put out there that you're perfect. Like, how is that going to help anyone else?
No. Well, and that's why, like, we put out a video at the beginning of this year on YouTube and just kind of explained to our fans, like, hey, this is why it's taking so long. We had a label change and it's been really rough.
Yeah.
Like, trying to put out new music. And I, like, went through a really hard depression whenever the label shut down.
Really?
Because my purpose was so attached to...
Okay, explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so my purpose in life was attached to my job.
I totally get that.
And so
what successes we got and all that stuff.
When I felt like my purpose was being taken away, which was my job, not my heart.
Exactly.
I was like, what am I doing here? Like what am I contributing to the world? Like,
and now
I
I'm
felt
worthless.
I felt like I had no worth, and I literally would look in the mirror and not recognize who I saw. I was just like, who
Really?
is this girl? I'd be like, I don't like her. She's like broken and just ugh. And then now
and her special spark is now gone, so you're worthless.
Totally,
I totally relate to that.
And then once I, like, unwinded that thing where I was like,
how did you unwind it?
Oh, girl, it was like, honestly, like
I
a couple months ago.
I feel like a lot of women, especially, look in the mirror every day and they're like, who are you? Like, what are you doing? Where's your purpose?
That's at least once a week for me.
Oh, totally. It's always kind of, you're always like, girl, come in here.
That's so nice to hear that you guys feel that way too.
Oh, all the time. Like, there's so many times where both of us, like, just feel like this small, or like we'll be, I don't know, the comparison game, and I'll just look at her and she's just like, you are your own. God created you just the way you are. Like,
ain't nobody gonna say yes.
Yeah, we always say, ain't nobody gonna steal your joy. That's what we always say. To, like, but, like, it's just,
So after the depression and you lost yourself and you didn't know who you were, how did you redefine what your purpose was and how did you rediscover it? Because originally it was your career.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden your career is gone at that moment. Not that it's gone, but like the
In my
high
head,
mountain, it's gone.
Yeah, totally.
Obviously it's not, but like for that
Totally.
second, it's all wiped out. So then how do you redefine what your
Yeah.
purpose is when you feel like you don't
That's a
have
really
one?
great question.
There was a book that I'm still reading because I'm just hanging on. I don't want it to be over. There's a book. It has a long title. It's In a Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day.
I've heard so many good things
by
about
Matt
it.
Batterson. That book changed my life. And two, I felt like once I owned the fact that I was broken, because both of us were like, we want to be strong.
It's hard to admit that. It's hard to admit that you're broken.
We're known for being strong females in country. Like, what do you do when you get up on stage and it's like, hey, everyone, like, girl in a country song and fly, we're strong. And you feel
Don't
like
feel that way.
shit. You feel awful.
Yeah.
And so it was like, once I owned the fact, like, I am broken, I am having a rough time. And once I started, like, leaning on other people and just, because I don't know.
Realizing
this is
that
another-
everyone's broken.
Yeah, well, and this is another devil thing where it's like when you are having a hard time, like he just uses that to his advantage where you just kind of close yourself off. And the moment that I started realizing something was wrong was when I stopped like talking to her. I wouldn't talk to my family. Like I just wouldn't open up, and I'm like, oh, something's wrong. And then I just was like, we're going to start here and just start from the bottom and then work our way back up.
Do you just start with like your pain? Like, why do I feel that way?
Yeah, I just was like, okay,
What
is
am
it
I
that makes
hiding?
me
What's
feel
making me
worthless?
feel ashamed right now?
Yeah, and I'm
Or
like,
worthless, yes.
I was like, it was a business decision that another company made. Okay, so that has,
It has
nothing to do with me.
you.
Not personal.
And then it was like, okay, well, my career like feels like it's over. And then it's like, okay, but that's my career. That's not who I am. I'm still Maddie Marlowe. Like, she's not just Tay from Maddie and Tay. She's Taylor Dye, and I'm not just, you know what I mean? Like, and just separating the two. So, but it's still hard. Like,
But how
it's every
wonderful
day.
to learn something so painful so early on in your career, honestly, because moving forward, you will always be able to get back to that center eventually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and the story that we have now to tell, especially because we have a record coming out in the fall, and it's
And let's talk about that, because out of the Lion's Pit comes, like, y'all had this huge explosive #1 song, then your label folds, has
Yeah.
nothing to do with you guys, and then you're like, what am I doing in my life? And now all of a sudden you're on a new label, new album, new
Everything.
beginning,
Maddie and Tay
fresh
2.0.
start.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Like, tell me about
Yeah.
the new music and how that rebirth feels.
so we're hoping it's going to come out in the fall, and it's a story record. So
Like
to
the
go
story?
hand in,
The story,
yes, the
yeah.
story. So to go hand in hand with all of that, like Maddie said, it was important for us to not essentially let all of that pain and emotion go to waste. So it was like, we don't want to lie to our fans. The fans know that we struggled. The fans know that there was a time where we didn't feel like we were ever going to get to release new music. So let's put that emotion into this record and make it count, make it a story. And even though, so it's through the eyes of a relationship. So it starts off, the first song on the record is our single, Friends Don't.
And that's about dating.
yeah,
I was
it's like,
listening-
who's going to make the move?
Because
Great
friends don't
face.
call you at midnight. Friends
Yeah,
don't
that's
want
right,
to
exactly.
like flirty texts.
Yes,
Exactly. So it's like
exactly.
the in love phase of a relationship, which is where we felt at the peak of our career. And then it goes to the heartbreak phase, which is what we felt as
And
a
which song is that one the most, would you feel?
Ooh, that's a great question. It's
I don't know,
probably
because
different
there's
throughout
like 5 different breakup songs that all say something different.
Is it kind of like breakup with the label music too? Not
Yeah,
just
kind
guys. It's sort of like all
the- it's all of it.
All-
but
yeah.
every song is like a intimate relationship, romantic relationship. But even though our emotions were definitely at that time coming from, you know, just the career change. But
So you go from the peak to the valley, and then
then the redemption.
We're like on the hill, like in the middle of the peak, like in
Yes.
the middle. Yeah.
yeah, like we're not on the complete far side of the silver lining yet,
Yeah.
but we see it, we feel it, we feel like we're there. We just feel like, especially now with our new label home, we've never felt this creatively free.
Wow.
And the fact that we're even getting to create a 14-song story record that is
Yeah.
completely so honest and true to us. I don't know, it just feels good to be back and feel
in
like
a creative space
yeah.
where you're really expressing what your soul wants to say.
Well,
Exactly.
and the end of the record, it's like, what, 3 or 4 songs where it's all about redemption. And it's all about this girl has her power back and she's just like, I'm good. I went through some stuff, but I'm good, and I'm coming back. And now we're actually living the redemption side of things right now, like for real, to where it's like people will be like, oh my gosh, y'all look so good. I'm like, I'm happy.
we feel
I'm
back.
so happy. They're like, oh, your skin looks so good. I'm like, it has nothing to do with my skin. I'm just really happy.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
No, because everyone's like, your skin looks so good to both of us. They're like, oh, you look so beautiful. I'm like, girl, I'm just happy. This hair is crusty, but I'm just
glowing
happy.
from happiness. What foundation do you use? Joy. I love that. Okay, I want to talk to you guys forever. We've probably been talking we've been talking for a long time. That's probably
we're
time me to
just
wrap
best
up.
buds now.
This whole thing's been super inspirational.
Oh, you're so inspirational. Seriously, when I was like, we're coming to do this, you need to know you are killing
You're
it.
killing
like,
it.
You are
You're
totally
so
doing what you're
inspiring.
supposed
I
to be
really
doing.
appreciate that, and I keep trying to just narrow it down because I love country music, but I really just love the souls of the people behind it more.
This is really
I
important.
appreciate
Like
that a lot.
whatever you do, like go and chase everything, but this is like so special and so important. There's not many podcasts like there's so many podcasts where it's like, oh, how to be a good lover, or just like fun little just. Like,
I mean, like purposeful living, soul living is really, because that's what I struggled with. I came to Nashville and I was like, I'm gonna be a star. I'm gonna be famous, so then people will love me and I'll find myself worth.
Right.
Yeah.
And I got far enough up the ladder, chasing all that stuff, to realize, okay, this is not how you find love. This is not how you find self worth.
Right.
And as soon as like one thing crashes, like the whole thing can fall apart. And if you don't have something deeper to lean on, you can really
Oh man.
lose it. And I had a
with the
full blown
self-worth-
meltdown and breakdown and moved to Austin, threw my
Girl.
whole life away for a little while.
Hey, Austin's a good place to do that,
But I feel like so many people struggle with that. Like when something
Yeah.
goes wrong, you feel like your whole world's ending, but really,
Yeah.
you just have to separate what is happening from
Yeah.
who you are.
Well,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
if you are a spiritual person, God does not cause pain without purpose. So you have to know that, like, any painful thing, like even like the speed bumps that we've been going through lately, still trying to get this song going and trying to make it work. Like every day
Life.
there's a speed bump, and I'm like, okay, I'm hurting and it's hard and it's tricky, but like there's a purpose for everything. And sometimes you have to go through some stuff to appreciate.
You do.
You know what I mean? Because
You
like,
do.
we didn't
We
know
view it all differently now. For
Yeah.
sure.
So much more appreciation. Okay, so let me wrap up with leave your light, because that feels like I like to
Yes.
end with leave your light. So explain to me that, like, what the point of this whole life is, this journey, what you guys are trying to do. Like, if you're trying to talk to young women, especially, or women, like, just leave some inspiration for
Yeah.
us.
Well,
Women.
Connect with people. That's been my biggest life lesson, life goal, is just like to connect soul to soul. And I feel like
Really connect.
really connect, especially on the parts that maybe, like we were talking about earlier, you don't understand, but you're still going to connect, because what makes them different than you is what makes them special and unique. And just be kind.
Yeah.
Love that.
I feel like for me, I think perspective, like always work on changing your perspective. Like when it is bad, accept that it's bad and it's not good, but just always know that it's going to turn around. Like just always try to flip that perspective. Like obviously, those people that are like, it's going to work out and everything's going to be great. It's like, no, screw you. Like,
Don't be in denial.
yeah,
Just
it's
look at the-
happening.
yeah.
Totally. Just know that everything works together for the greater good.
Yes.
And if you are a spiritual person, like dig in, y'all. I mean,
worth
it is like just knowing your spiritual journey, and I feel like that's so connected with your purpose. But every single person has a purpose. Like
We all are here for a reason.
yes, that person working at
No
the bar across
mistake.
the street, no one is a mistake, and everyone has a worth. So just know your worth, and always try to change your perspective. Don't be so stuck in a closed-minded situation. But I think connecting is so important too.
I like yours too.
Yeah.
You
I like
guys!
that.
This is so cool. I feel like I have halitosis. Yes, and I
Oh,
don't smell my breath.
No. I feel like I had is it called pho for lunch?
Y'all, I was just drinking coffee.
Okay, great. And then my feet
Yes.
probably smell too. I'm like, I'm
Hey,
sorry if I've been just like giving
we're
you all
just
my
letting
smell.
the toes free. We let the pigs fly. We let the pigs fly.
The dogs bark, y'all.
I love you so much. Thank you for
I feel
taking
like
time to chat with
you
us.
were our therapist today.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all were my therapist today. Are you kidding me? And that's what I want everyone to hear.
That's
is
why you
that
have to keep doing this, because it's
Please,
literally a
please,
therapy
for
session.
us.
And then for your listeners, for me, like on an airplane, when I'm like struggle busing,
I'm not alone.
I'm like, oh my gosh, she totally gets it. And her, the person she's interviewing, and she get like, it's just so.
Well, and I
nice.
feel like people could look at you guys and be like, they never understand what I'm going through. But really,
No,
y'all totally understand what they're going through. Because everyone is just
Yeah.
going through this life.
we are all way more similar than we think. There's less differences than there are, similarity. We're so similar in so
Oh, yeah.
many ways. But
We try to divide, but I really think this generation is going to stop the division.
I sure hope
I don't
so.
think we all, like, our group of this, whatever we're in,
It's all open-minded.
We don't care about that.
Yeah, totally.
no one cares about trying to get everyone classified and divided up.
Exactly.
Like,
no,
it doesn't-
it's just
who
like
cares?
everyone. Let's all hang and be friends and
Yeah.
have a good time.
I love you guys.
Love you. We need to do this like
every
every week basically.